Hello fly tyers, welcome to another episode of Angler Maids, Aaron at the fly desk. Today I have with me my son-in-law and one of our best students. Cody married my daughter, and part of the deal we made is he had to learn how to fly fish and tie flies. So for a rookie, he has gotten very, very good and talented. He's very creative, so he spent quite a bit of time at the fly desk this weekend, so he's going to show us all a little bit of what he created. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, so just went ahead and picked up a couple of pins and size 10 jig hooks, tied some balanced leeches here. You can kind of see the eyelet sticking up there. Just tied a couple of different designs that I thought up. I wanted to go ahead and give them a try this spring especially, but yeah, just a couple different variations there.
And basically, you've seen some of our balanced leech videos. Basically what a balanced leech is you have the eye of the hook right here, and you put the weight on so it actually sits. Oh, it wasn't. The eye of the hook's right there, and you tie a little pin on the end, and so it sits in the water horizontal like that. And statistically, I gotta say, the balanced leeches seem to catch more fish. So I really like your creations here, Cody. I think some of these red beads, especially in the spring, especially with that black, sometimes the water can be a little bit murky at ice off. But yeah, I think these look awesome. I would definitely give them a try.
Yep, we'll see how they do.
Okay, all right. We're gonna go to the fly desk here in a minute, and we're gonna tie a balanced leech again, another pattern, and show you how we do it. So this is how a balanced leech works. So I'm going to show you a traditional leech. So we've got the line tied on this one, and you can see I've got the tippet held, and so if it's in the water, I've got to be moving it in order to get it to sit horizontal. Okay, because it's going to dangle underneath the strike indicator vertical. And so the idea of a balanced leech, go ahead and get that a little closer there, Cody, is when you're fishing with a strike indicator, well, go out a little bit more, there we go. When you're fishing with the strike indicator, you want that fly to sit horizontal in the water below it. It looks more natural. I mean, most fish aren't like sitting there upside down like that, and so you want it sitting horizontal. And so the idea is you put a little bit more weight ahead of the fly, so it balances it out, so it sits in the water horizontal. So that is how a balanced leech works, and they're getting more and more popular. And it doesn't have to be a balanced leech. It can be a balanced pheasant tail, balanced prince nymph. We're seeing more and more of that balanced fly design in the lakes that we're fishing. So we'll go ahead and show you how to tie one, and I think it's definitely worth looking into for your own fly box to get a few of these balanced flies in here so that you can catch more fish. Okay, now we're at the fly desk, and we're going to tie a balanced leech, show you how we do it. So first off, we're going to put our thread on there. And it's just pretty normal. Oh, Cody, do you got any super glue?
Yeah, I do.
Can I snag some of that from you? So I've got Cody, my son-in-law. It's like we're doing surgery and he's my nurse. He hands me all of the materials that I don't see readily available. Okay, so you just get a little pin, just like a little craft pin, and you slide a normal bead, and the large circle of the bead you put on first. You can see it slides over nicely to the head of that pin, and it just depends on how long you want your bead to extend over the eye of the hook. That's usually about there. This is a little over 1/8 of an inch probably. These are just little 1/2 inch pins. Then what I like to do is put some super glue on it. and that just gets it nice and cemented. And then what you do is you go ahead and layer a little bit of thread onto that pin. Okay, this is just going to be a straight black leech, balanced leech. So I've got some marabou that's nice and soft and fluffy. So we're going to put some of that on. And I like my marabou to be about the same length as my hook, or the length of the fly. So halfway point's gonna be just perfect with where the barb of the hook is. Okay, so got a little bit of marabou on there. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of sparkle on it. I don't need a lot in this one because the dubbing I'm gonna be using has a nice bit of sparkle to it. So today I'll be using some Spirit River UV CLX ice dubbing, and this color is called Black Stone. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be one of our two-tone leeches. And I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. I'm actually going to put my dubbing right on my monocord 3/0 pre-wax thread. Now you can put ribbing wire on these if you want. Most of the time when I'm tying these leeches, I've got 4 boys, and usually they're forgetting to tie enough flies, so they're bumming flies out of my fly box. So I've always got a whole bunch of flies on hand. So I don't bother to rib them if I'm tying a bunch of them fast, but obviously if you put some ribbing through here, it does help hold them together a little bit better. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some ice dub in Peacock Black, and that's what the front portion of this fly is going to be, and that's why I call it a two-tone leech. Just something a little bit different that the fish haven't seen is this two-tone color. I try to keep it kind of the same base color, whether it's a dark black, light black, less sparkle, more sparkle. And then you can see the eye of the hook, I just kind of wrap it back and forth through there. Whoops, that was the wrong dubbing. It was almost a 3-tone fly. No dubbing loop required when you're using pre-wax thread. Remember that. It was life-changing when you're tying for speed. Okay, so I get it all packed in there nice. And then we simply whip finish. And then I like to do, let's see, just a little bit of either super glue or UV glue. So we'll put a little bit of clear UV glue on this to seal everything up. Shove it down in there. Get our light. Whoops. Too many buttons. There we go. Okay, that should be sufficient. Alright, the last part of this fly is we get our trusty old Home Depot Michael's Crafts, whatever you call it, it's a craft brush. And we start to comb out especially this front part of the fly. So instead of using hackle, a lot of times I'll just two-tone my leeches, and it gives it the same effect. You can see that's got a lot of nice sparkle to it as I turn it around. You can see when that gets wet, that's going to breathe and pulsate really nice through the water. As far as the balance side of it, there's the eye of my hook. It's nice because plenty of room there to tie a fly, and you'll either tie this with an improved clinch knot or a loop knot. If you do a loop knot, it tends to have a lot better movement, especially if you've got a ripple on the water, because there's no resistance. Whereas a clinch knot, it'll still sit in there balanced, it just won't move as much. So we've tried them both ways. I haven't seen a ton of difference on what knot you use. So usually I'll just use a clinch knot and it seems to catch fish just fine. So that, my friends, is our two-tone balanced leech. So we appreciate you guys watching our angler maid Aaron at the fly desk, and we're gonna take this fly out this spring, catch some fish, hopefully get some great footage for you. Thanks for watching.